Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Now, we all want the expensive players, we want the Haalands, we want the Salahs, we want the Palmers, we want the Sakas, but in order to fit all these guys into our teams, we need some budget enablers. Now, the budget players we're going to be looking at today are 4.5 million defenders. There is a lot of value to be had in that position, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first player we're going to be looking at is Wan-Bissaka from West Ham. Now, he is the most popular defender in the game. He's in a third of FPL teams right now, and for good reason, to be honest. I mean, I'm a West Ham fan, so potentially biased here, but I think that he is pretty undervalued. I mean, he's playing as a right wing back, or last season he was playing as a right wing back for West Ham, and yes, we kind of typically know Wan-Bissaka for his defensive qualities, his 1v1 defending, but last season he showed kind of a different side to him where he was getting forward a lot and he was very good going forward. It doesn't look great on the eye, it's not very pleasing, but it is effective. He does get down the wing, he does put balls in, and they're not bad. He got 6 assists last season. That is more than any other 4.5 million defender this season, so that's already a good reason to pick him. Another good reason is Sunderland away in game week 1. That fixture is fantastic. I know a lot of people are interested in bench boosting in game week 1. I put together another video with a bench boost game week 1 draft. It is pretty popular, and if you are bench boosting in game week 1, then Wan-Bissaka just makes complete sense. The fixture is so good. However, after game week 1, the fixtures aren't great. It's Chelsea, Forest, Tottenham, Palace, Arsenal, Brentford, Everton. The fixtures really aren't that good after game week 1. But this year, that doesn't matter. It's not all about clean sheets with defenders anymore. There is these defensive contribution points, which if you said, okay, blocks, tackles, clearances, interceptions, Wan-Bissaka would be one of the first guys you think of in the defence anyway. That's what is his bread and butter. So I think that West Ham will improve slightly this year. Again, potentially biased because I'm a West Ham fan, but I do believe that West Ham will improve. I do think Wan-Bissaka will still play in that right wing back role. West Ham have signed Kyle Walker-Peters, which does blur things a little bit in the sense that Kyle Walker-Peters' best position is obviously right wing back as well. That's where he played last season. That's where he's played a lot of his football. But I'd be surprised if we see Wan-Bissaka playing in like a right centre back role. I think that he was too good in that right wing back role last season to move him from there. Now, there is a world where we could see Wan-Bissaka as one wing back and then Walker-Peters as the other wing back. However, West Ham have just also bought Juve, who is a very, very capable left wing back. He is also worth mentioning in this video, to be honest. I haven't got another section about him because I thought I'd mention him here. He got a lot of goals and assists last season. Admittedly, it was in the Czech League, so the standard isn't quite as good. However, he is very, very attacking. And if he is going to be the nailed left wing back for West Ham, then he could also be a bargain at 4.5 million. Now, we do need to watch out because Scholes did play some minutes last season. He might get some minutes this season as well. But either one of these guys could be great value at 4.5 million. Right, the second player we're looking at here is Destiny Udogie from Spurs. Now, the first thing to note on him is that he hasn't actually played any preseason minutes yet. He does have a slight injury. I think it is just precautionary more than anything else. However, he hasn't gone on Spurs' tour to Asia, pre-season tour. Spurs do have a couple of pre-season fixtures after that tour, so he could get some minutes. He needs to get some minutes in those games for us to be able to pick him, to be honest. The thing is, we know how attacking those Spurs fullbacks are. It doesn't really show in the numbers though, especially last season. These numbers are pretty horrific from Udogie. I mean, no goals, 1 assist, 5 shots, 1 shot on target, 5 shots in the box. I mean, you can keep reading, they're awful. No big chances, 2 big chances created. One other point to note with him as well is that Spence played some minutes last season. Now, Spence can play right back or left back. Obviously, Porro is going to play the bulk of the minutes at right back. But I do expect Spence to get minutes again this season, and he was pretty good when he was needed last season. And also, if Udogie's going into the start of the season with a knock or something like that, then there is a good chance that Spence just plays those minutes to begin with. Now, another cheap option from Spurs is Mickey van der Ven. He is also 4.5 million. He brings a slightly different threat in that his minutes are a lot more secure than Udogie's, and also he brings more defensive contribution points. Now, as I say, we're getting points for clearances, tackles, blocks, interceptions now, and he will get a fair amount more of them. The one thing to note with him though is he is a bit injury prone. However, I do like both of these guys. The fixtures are really nice. Burnley at home in game week 1 is unbelievable. Man City away in game week 2 isn't obviously great. But then it's Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, Wolves, Leeds, Villa, Everton. The fixtures are just brilliant to start. So I do recommend starting with one of these Spurs guys. Okay, the third defender we're looking at is Ezri Konsa. Now, he offers something slightly different to the likes of Wan-Bissaka and Udogie. He offers consistency of minutes. Every game that he's available for, he will play. Whether that be at centre-back, whether that be at right-back, he does actually play at right-back sometimes. Can't see that happening too often this year, but it does happen a little bit. The one thing he doesn't offer is attacking threat. You can see here, 34 appearances, 2 goals, 11 shots, 5 shots on target, 10 shots in the box. Again, you can keep reading, it's not great viewing. He doesn't offer really any attacking threat, and actually, he also doesn't offer much in the sense of defensive contribution points. So the only thing you're going to get from him really is consistency of minutes and clean sheet chances. Villa, I do expect to be quite good this season. They have got really nice fixtures. They don't play a top team until game week 8 or 9, so their fixtures to start, as you can see there, Newcastle, Brentford, Crystal Palace, Everton, Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley. And then it gets a bit rough with Tottenham, City, Liverpool. But that's not until game week 8 that they play Tottenham. By then we've probably used our first wildcard anyway. Regardless, I don't really see Konsa as an option that we're going to play every single week. He is cheap. All these guys are 4.5 million. The reason I would probably have Konsa in my team is as like a first bench option to play against Burnley at home, to play against Sunderland away, but also to have on the bench if you need him, if one of your players gets suspended, if one of your players completely misses out for a random reason, then you've got someone who you know is going to play guaranteed minutes and does have the chance of getting a clean sheet. Like I say, very, very rare chance or very, very small chance of an attacking return. You're more looking at the consistency of minutes and potential clean sheets here. Right, the fourth player we're looking at here is Mark Guehi. Now, before we get into kind of Palace and his numbers and everything like that, the one thing to note here is that Guehi does look like he could potentially be leaving. He has been quite heavily linked with Liverpool. Then again, last season he was also quite heavily linked with a move away from Palace and he didn't leave. So whether that happens or not, who knows? This is only talking about really if he stays. If he goes to Liverpool and becomes a starter and is nailed on for minutes, then he's just ridiculous value at 4.5 million. However, if he does stay at Palace, which is potentially more likely, then again, he is kind of a little bit similar to Konsa in that you know you're getting minutes. He will play every game he's available for. He will play 90 minutes in those games. Again, he doesn't offer loads of attacking threat. 3 goals, 2 assists isn't actually bad for him really. And then he does have a little bit more numbers to him than Konsa does. So 15 shots, 7 on target, 13 shots in the box, a bit more XG, a bit more XA. 6 big chances is quite nice. But it's not really great. It's not like we're looking at a kind of a fullback here. The one thing that Palace defenders do offer, albeit Lacroix and Richards offer a little bit more than Guehi does, is defensive contribution points. You're looking at probably a bit more than you are with Konsa. The one thing that isn't great for Guehi is the fixtures. So it's Chelsea away to start, which is not great. Then Forest at home, then Villa away. Those 3 are pretty rough. But then it's a nice little 2-game stretch of Sunderland at home, West Ham away. Very nice there. And then again, it's just a bit hit and miss. I mean, they've got Liverpool after that. Then it's Everton and Bournemouth, which are quite nice. But then it's Arsenal. There isn't like a prolonged stretch of nice fixtures for them. So I don't think you need Guehi and Konsa. I think you only need one of them because they offer very, very similar upsides in that it's consistent minutes and not many routes to points, but they're both very, very safe players to have on your bench. The penultimate player we're looking at here is Senesi. Now, he will benefit from Dean Huijsen leaving Bournemouth. Obviously, Dean Huijsen took quite a lot of minutes off Senesi last season. It typically was Zabarnyi and Huijsen as the two centre-backs. Senesi, the season before, did play a lot of minutes with Zabarnyi, but when Dean Huijsen came in, Senesi kind of lost his place halfway through the season-ish, which is why appearances are only 17. Senesi was injured for a period, but when he came back, it kind of was Huijsen and Zabarnyi. Anyway, as you can see, attacking threat, almost nothing, so I wouldn't expect loads there. Again, looking at the bottom left of the screen, fixtures, Liverpool away, Wolves at home, Tottenham away, Brighton at home, Newcastle at home. A bit of a mixed bag, really. Again, there isn't like a prolonged good run of fixtures. And one kind of bigger thing to note here is that Bournemouth have lost pretty much their whole back four. Kerkez has gone, Dean Huijsen's gone, Zabarnyi's been linked with a move away. It's just not looking good for them in defence. Senesi's obviously staying. They've replaced Kerkez with a new defender called Truffert. That's probably not how you pronounce his name. He does seem like a good player though. He does seem like someone who could be an FPL option. Attacking wise, he does look like he could offer something. He's probably one that we're going to need to wait and see on. I don't think that he's someone we can just jump on straight away. Certainly because the fixtures aren't great. I mean, Liverpool away in game week 1, like I say, it really isn't ideal. So these two players aren't someone that, again, is going to kind of break the game with how attacking they are or how many defensive contribution points they're getting. But again, they could later down the line become very solid options for us. Lastly, it is Lewis Dunk. Now, he does offer a little bit going forward in that we've seen him, I don't know if it was last season or potentially the season before, we've seen him take a free kick or two. He is a threat from corners and other set pieces. And again, you are getting kind of consistency of minutes here. He will start every game he's available for. Brighton's fixtures, again, aren't the best here. Fulham at home, Everton away is okay, but then it's City, then it's Bournemouth, then it's Tottenham. It's a bit of a mixed bag. Again, attacking, like I say, attacking threat-wise, his numbers are a little bit better than some of the others. I mean, he's got 1.03 XA, which isn't bad at all. The player that I do want to talk about, though, is Brighton have signed a new fullback called Cuyper. Now, he is very, very attacking. If you played Euros Fantasy a couple of years ago, then he was in everyone's team at one point because he is very, very attacking. Now, we do need to see that he's going to be the regular starter there because they have got lots of players in the fullback positions. So it's not kind of he's not definitely nailed on, this Cuyper, but if we do see him get some really good pre-season minutes, then he is one that we could jump on later down the line. Like I say, we don't need to get him now because the fixtures aren't the best. However, if you did want to go for a gamble in one of your 4.5 million defender positions, then I don't mind going for him at all. That's going to be all for this one. If you liked the video, do hit like, do subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.